Good afternoon, my loves. I generally do not do 2 videos a day. This is so important. I had to. I got a DM from a family who is really struggling. They wanted me to answer back on video, so I am. I already sent them a post or a note and told them, hey, I'm answering now, so give it a few minutes, you'll see your answer. Oh, honey, this is just heartbreaking. A mom reached out. Now, this is affecting her marriage and her family, her nuclear family that lives in the house, as well as the parents, the grandparents, the aunts, the uncles, on and on and on. Her child has come out to them as gay. Her husband's reaction was, they have failed this child. It's their fault that the child is gay. They're upset. They're about to throw the child out of the house. And the mom said, let's just hang on. Let's get an independent opinion. And they came to me. So, my answer from the bottom of my heart, listen to me. Honey, the only time you fail your child is when you turn them away. Your job as a parent is to love them and accept them unconditionally for who they are, as they are. That's it. Just love them. Now, I'm straight. My son's straight. My daughter-in-law's straight. My granddaughter's straight. Okay, that's my family. However, I do have family members that are gay. I have very, very good friends that are gay. They are welcome in my home, in my life. Their spouses are welcome in my home and in my life. I don't care. I love them for who they are because they're beautiful souls. They're wonderful people. Bottom line, that's what matters. That's it. Love your child for who they are. Don't try to force someone to be who they aren't. I'm older than dirt. I am 66. And back when I was in school, a long time ago, I remember so clearly being in second grade. I'm right-handed. Most of the kids in my class in second grade were right-handed, except for one little boy named Lloyd. And I will never forget. And I can say this because he has since passed on. And Lloyd was left-handed. And back in the 60s, the early 60s, that wasn't so cool. Because here we were, 7 years old, trying to learn to write and all of that stuff. And they would tie his hand behind his back. They would take twine and tie it around his left wrist to his belt so he couldn't use it. And they tried to make him use his right hand. And that was horrible. Tears would run down his face. I mean, it was just sad every day. Now, by the time we were all in fourth grade, that had stopped, thank God. And he was a much happier little boy. But just let him be who he is. He's a sweet little boy, good heart, good soul. He's left-handed, so what? Some people are left-handed, some people are right-handed. Some people are nearsighted, some people are farsighted. Brown eyes, blue eyes, green eyes, red hair. I've always had red hair. Some are blonde, some are brunette, some are straight, some are curly, some are fat, some are thin, some are gay, some are straight. It's how you're hardwired. That's it. It's who you are. You're hardwired. So why make a bigger deal out of it? Love them for who they are. Nurture them for who they are as they are. So they don't want to, be a football player. They want to be in band or orchestra or in art. Maybe they're great writers, musicians, painters. Love them for that. Where would the world be without writers? I mean, I've written 9 books, big deal, but it counts. But look at some of the brilliant, books that are out there in novels. The art. I love art. Monet. I love Monet. Where would the world be without art? And music. Music touches everyone's soul. Where would we be without artists, or farmers, or teachers, or nurses, and doctors? And the list goes on and on and on. Love your child for who they are. If your child doesn't want to go to college, that's okay. It's fine. Because we still need people that work with their hands. Maybe they want to go to a VOTEC. Maybe they want to be a mechanic. God bless, we need them. God knows we need them. We need construction workers. We need butchers. You know, all of the jobs that you don't necessarily have to go to college for. We need these people. It doesn't make your child lesser than because they don't, you know, fit your expectations. Did you fit your parents' expectations? I am approached with this so often, not with necessarily families that have a child coming out, but so often my child doesn't want to go to college, my child doesn't want to join the family business. So what? They don't right now. Maybe in 10 years after college, they wanted to try the business. I had somebody try that a few months ago. They were bound determined. They did not want to follow in their parents' footsteps. No way, not going to happen. Left for college, went out on their own, did great, came back for the holidays, and their dad, I think their dad, as I recall, was a plumber or electrician or something, and had a call, and they went with their dad just to keep him company. And they ended up helping. And you know, they ended up having a good time. And I got a call. You know, there may be something to this. There you go. But just love and accept your child for who they are. You're not a failure until you turn your back on your child. The only time you fail your child is when you close that door. It's when you throw them out. You tell them, no, you don't fit in my life. They're your baby, honey. When you find out you're having a child, that's your top priority. That's it. Your friends don't matter. Your child is, that's it. That's your focus. That's it. You start loving that child immediately, nurturing that child, caring for that child. And that continues. And yeah, I'm a mom. And you have these little scenarios in your head of what your child's going to look like. Now my son will be 47, so we didn't, do the sonograms all the time and stuff. Didn't know if I was having a boy or a girl. So you have all these scenarios playing in your head, what they're going to look like, what they're going to do. I had a little boy who I love. He's a grown boy now with a child of his own, who he adores. I have the best son, of course, I'm very biased, and daughter-in-law, and a beautiful granddaughter. And we just appreciate each other for who we are, as we are. That's it. It's that simple. So stop pushing your child to be something they're not. Love them for who they are as they are. Question. When you were growing up, as we all have done, how would you have felt? You're going through shit in your life, and we've all been there. Adolescence sucks. If you went to your parents, if you were able to go to your parents and say, I have a problem, your heart could have been broken. Maybe you didn't get a good grade. Maybe you didn't make cheerleader or the football team or whatever, but your little heart was broken. You were able to go to your parents and say, oh my gosh, this happened. And they just sat down and hugged you and said, it's okay. We'll go through it together. It's okay. How would you have felt? It would have been pretty nice, huh? All I'm asking is for you to give to your child what you didn't get. Love them for who they are. And if the grandparents don't like it, it's kind of like their problem, not yours. This is your child, not theirs. If aunts and uncles and cousins don't like it, yeah, it's a them thing, not a you thing. Don't take it out on my kid. Keep your distance. Where would society be if we accepted people for who they are, not what we expected them to be? Not set aside all the expectations. This child has to be this. This child has to be this culture. This child has to be, this profession, this political party, this religion. Maybe they don't want to be. Maybe they want to do something else. Let them. As long as they're a good citizen, a productive member of society, honor them for who they are. Love them for who they are. So for this family that reached out to me, love your child for who they are. It's not your fault your child is gay. They're hardwired. It's who they are. Is it your parents' fault that you have brown hair, blue eyes, whatever? You are who you are. It's how you're hardwired. It's who your child is. Love them. And while I think about it, if anybody, I have never been to Vegas, but I know how difficult it is to be, not that I've ever done this, I am not graceful, but I do know some people that were at one time showgirls. And it takes so much work for those girls to do what they do. Hours and hours and hours every day. The Rockettes, same thing. Hours and hours and hours of work. Okay. To do that makeup perfectly, I do well to do what I do with my makeup, and I wear very little. But it's okay. So if your child comes to you and tells you they want to do drag, maybe they're transgender, and you're kind of flipping out about this because you've always pegged them as this, and now they're going this direction, and you're in a bit of a panic, stop. Love them for who they are, because they're still the same person on the inside. Love them for who they are here. Let them try it. Let them go. Nurture them. Support them. Encourage them. If they want to do drag, and I suggested this to a family not long ago, they were, oh my God, my son's going to be a drag queen. I don't even know what it is. I said, go on YouTube or what is it, Hulu and that kind of stuff, and follow, I want to get this right, RuPaul's Drag Race. And it's a little out there. It's a little goofy because it is a contest kind of thing. But you will see the artistry that goes into that makeup. Talent you would not believe. I have no idea how they do it. They make their own clothes. I know how to hem a pair of jeans and sew on buttons. And I can suture. As a nurse, I can suture like a bitch. There's no way I could make a dress. These people are brilliant. The creations are just fantastic. So, watch that. Just see the artistry, the creativity, and with your support and your nurturing, let your child flourish. Just watch them grow. I know through the years as a life coach specializing in trauma therapy, and even as a nurse, I have dealt with a lot of people, because I did surgical intensive care, a lot of people that had tried to take their lives and such. They were repressed. They hadn't come out. They were afraid to come out. They would starve themselves. Drugs, alcohol, all kinds of stuff. All because they didn't have a safe space. They didn't feel safe to come out to their families who they really were. They were so afraid of being rejected, of not being loved. They were willing to live a lie and be miserable. No. Nope, not if you love your kid. Love them, accept them for who they are. Absolutely, positively. It's what's in here that counts. That's it. Love your child for who they are and what beautiful gifts they bring to this world. It doesn't matter, if they're gay, if they're straight, whatever. So what? Just love people for who they are, as they are. Love them and accept them. Quit putting people in boxes. It's okay. Just normalize it. It's okay. If we, as society, would normalize these things, the suicide rate would drop, addictions may drop, anorexia, all kinds of things would drop. All because we love each other and accept each other for who we are, as we are. Would that be nice? I mean, that's how I live my life. I accept people for who they are, as they are. Doesn't matter. Give it a try. You never know. It might work.